So I came here after I went to visit my friend in Menachem. I came here to the hot springs and Ain Jonas, and I'm the only one here. There's nobody else. So I kind of feel like this day after yesterday, this day is kind of a day that I'm just going to let myself kind of recuperate. It's Thursday, and I've been meaning to edit that book, and it's really been like sitting on me heavy. And I realized that when I put something like an agenda that I have to do, it always seems to like weigh on me, and then I end up not doing or feeling guilty about not doing or whatever. So I've just decided to kind of let this day be. And when it's hot out, people don't come here because the water is so hot. But I feel like the water is also, it is healing. And you can see that water behind me. It's bubbling up from the earth. It's full of sulfur. It smells like boiled eggs, kind of. There's a little bit of an area here that's still in the shade, so that's where I'm at. I'm going to have to check this video afterwards and make sure that, that I'm covered up. I just got back from visiting my friend. I did a video earlier this morning. I was crying and kind of cussing a little bit and feeling kind of crappy also about myself. And I realized that there's like two places in my life that I want clarity in, that that I feel like I need to do work in, which is, and they're two big places. Like, I don't know, it seems to me like some of the biggest places, which is being provided for in my providence, and trusting in the universe and trusting that when I'm in my natural flow, because this morning I feel like I'm in my, feeling sorry for myself again, kind of feeling lost. And feeling like yesterday I spent the evening with my twin, and I feel like all of my demons are coming up. I'm feeling like in a place. Maybe a lot of my self work is the self work of knowing that I'm worthy and knowing that, knowing that I'm worthy within myself. I think that that's part of this twin flame journey is the self work, and so in the places that I need self work are. I feel like with my providence, knowing that I'm being provided for just by being who I am, just by embracing who I am, and in other places in my love life, like this journey is, and on the one hand, it's like because I'm on the journey and because I feel this total love for my twin, then I don't have a partnership in my life, and a partnership that I feel like I really do want a partner. And I was just I just went to visit my friend. I was when I recorded the earlier message, like my back feels like it's stuck. I just went to visit my friend, and I got a whole. He knows my twin. He's seen us together before, and a lot of times. And he had a lot to say about it because he sees it from a different perspective than the way I see it. And he like sees it exactly opposite, like that the relationship is taking from me. The relationship is not giving back to me in places that I need strength, like that the love that I have to give and what I have to put into a relationship isn't getting answered, but I keep on putting into it. So it's like he sees me as not like he sees like that I'm being, it's kind of like what I said this morning, like I'm being used for somebody else's benefit, like the benefit of him feeling, good in himself, or I'm sitting in this water, and this water is hot. It's like, I think it's like 42 or 43 degrees, something like that. It is hot, hot. So I'm going to, and as you can see, I'm skinny dipping because if somebody comes, I can hear them coming, and it just, it just feels so good to So I just got a really big earful about a different perspective on how to look at the twin flame thingy, and it's kind of paradoxical because I can see both sides at the same time. I can see how what he sees is that I'm putting all this investing into it and loving, and my whole being is engulfed by it, but I'm not getting back in a physical way, or getting back the like support in myself, or acceptance in acceptance in who I am, and love back in the way that I'm putting in. But on the other hand, I can also see it as the exact opposite. Like this twin flame journey is in the difficulties of it, and in the places that, because it's not a natural just coming together like soulmates would be, that we just come together and support each other also in the weaknesses. Like in this twin flame mirroring effect, you can't come together because those are the places that push you away, the places of weakness in the other. They mirror back your own weaknesses, and those are the places that you don't, it's mirroring your own weaknesses back to you. And it's those places that you don't accept in yourself that you're getting back. So you can't be with somebody that is not standing up in their rightful place or in their full power. So it's kind of like empowering because of what it is, because of the relationship, because of how difficult it can be. And see, I want to change my language and say, oh, it's easy peasy. No, it's not difficult. This is, part of... when I change my language, I make the reality, but also at the same time, I want to be, I don't want to alienate myself for feeling what I feel. And also, I feel like this is my God's work in some ways. Sometimes you just have to say it like you feel it in order to get the message across, and it's kind of like self-sacrifice, It's kind of like I need to put the message out there so that, because I know that there's a lot of you going through the same things. I also get feedback and people writing to me that it gives them strength, it gives them like peace in knowing that they're not going crazy, that there's other people that are going through this and that are seeing the same things. And it's amazing how the God connection is in there, because up until a year ago, if you would have been telling me that I would be talking about Messiah and God and trusting in God and providence, I didn't even know what providence was. I started using the word providence. It like came up in my mind, almost like a download, because I never used that word before. And all of a sudden I realized I know what it is. Like, where did I know that word from? Where have I heard it before? I don't know. And so I actually went in and looked up the word after I used it, because it felt like the right word to use. And I saw that it means exactly what I meant it to mean. So those are like God sends to me as well. And also this twin flame thing, and getting a full like earful this morning, a full earful, like a whole shalloo. And I could see the point. It's like sitting there and I can see his perspective in it. I could, because everything that he said and the way that he's reading it is true. I can see both sides of the coin at the same time. It's like seeing full circle. It's like seeing how this is detrimental to me and changing who I am, and that I'm not getting back that what as a human being I would want in a partnership, in a relationship, a full supporting partnership that accepts me in everything that I am, and also in my weaknesses, and comes in and supports me in these places. And that's something that, this avatar being, this person that I am, really wants in a relationship, the support and lifting up. Even when I'm feeling down, somebody being able to come in and look at me with compassion and say, "Oh, you should just do. You're gonna do okay. Come on." Because we're all children inside. We're all children of God. We're all going through these places that we need to, trust and lift up, and trust in our higher being and in God. And on the other hand, then I have this other side where I can see that this is exactly, the not coming in and accepting me and my weaknesses is making me stand up into my strengths. And I'm becoming stronger for it. And then also I feel like also the stronger that I become, the less options that I actually have in a partnership. Because the further I go up, the more I'm looking, the broader my perspective becomes, and I see everybody so clearly. It's like getting a bird's eye view onto humanity. And I see that even men, or men that once upon a time I would have found so attractive and so strong, that now I can see a lot of their strengths are their weaknesses. A lot of the places that they are, putting off this vibe as if they're strong. That's the trap that I fell into when I got married, is thinking that my ex-husband's weaknesses were his strengths, because in the outside, he puts off this, like, I'm strong and I have it all going on. But in the inside, that the only reason that he has that is because of his weaknesses. That's coming to, like, cover up all the weaknesses. And when you're lashing out like that and you're putting on that big exterior, you're not actually dealing with your weaknesses. And also something, when I went to my friends this morning, and then I left and I was on my way here, and I stopped, there was a tell on the way. There's ancient artifacts everywhere in this country. And it's right next to Menachemia. It's next to the Jordan River. The Jordan River goes right by Menachemia, and there's an area there that has like a tell. A tell is like where you can tell that the ground is not flat. Like there was a city that collapsed, and then it got covered with dirt, and then dirt on dirt. And you can also see partially a wall, that like some kind of retainer wall, and on top of it dirt. And so I parked the car and I got out there and I was walking along, because a lot of times there was pottery everywhere, and I got up on top of the tell and looked out. And it was kind of something that I really enjoyed doing, and I used to do that all the time, when I enjoyed and those were the kinds of things that I really found joy in, is going to ancient sites and looking on the ground for coins or whatever. I didn't spend a lot of time. It's really hot today. It's like really hot. And the Jordan Valley is especially hot. And this place that I'm in now is in the Jordan Valley. It's in the Yarmouk Valley, but it's like right in this like hot. We're midsummer, 2nd of August. This is like hot season, the hottest. And so it was too hot. But I had this realization that when I was there on that tell, and I'm interested in finding out what that tell was. I think that maybe it's not even like been excavated, so maybe they don't even know what it is. Like it might not even, maybe I can find in history books what would have been in that area. But it's right at in the valley, in the Jordan Valley, where almost like on the Jordan River. So that would have been their water source. Because in ancient times, they had to have had water sources. And sometimes you go into these little villages, and they have tons of cisterns where they gathered rainwater, and you can go down into the cisterns. And that's a place to go metal detecting, even though you're not allowed, but that's a place to go metal detecting, really, in the cisterns. But what I was going to say is that I had this realization, because I had just gotten a whole earful about my twin, like a total like lecture. Almost, you could call it a lecture, like a mini lecture about all the detrimental ways that the relationship with my twin is harming me, and not fair for me, and things that I'm deserving of, and I know that it's coming really from a place of caring about me and love for me, and wanting for my best interest. I know that he was telling me all of those things in a way of for caring about me and wanting me to rise above it. Like he sees me hurting because of the relationship. It's just like, it's the same thing in my family. They see me hurting in that relationship because I am. But the hurting is also burning out my weaknesses. So you can hear the water here bubbling. I'll turn it around here in a minute when I'm done and show you like all the bubbling coming out of the water. There's like bubbles, it's constant. There's like constant, the water is alive. It's like constant movement. And you can go right over here. You can see where the outlet from this place is. And it's like a river of boiling hot water that leaves out of here. It's coming in so fast. The water is coming in here so fast. And it's coming in from like the underground. It's coming in from the middle of the earth, full of sulfur and all sorts of minerals, and it's healing water. I brought 2 women here when they were hitchhiking. I brought 2 women. One of them works at Hamad Gadel, which is right over here. It's the pay park. And another woman that she's from Canada, but she's living here, and she said that she feels, she got, during the corona, she took 2 of the vaccinations, and her whole face, like, I'm starting to hear like a motor, and I'm wondering if somebody's coming. It sounds like it's a little bit far away, so. And so she was telling me that she comes here because she feels like the sulfur is healing her from the shots that she took, like weakened her. And I also feel like that because I took 2 vaccinations, even though I didn't want to, but I was living at my parents' at the time, and my father was totally paranoid. And so that's the reason why I took the vaccinations. But everybody has their own reason, you know. Now I wouldn't. I would stand on my own. I pushed it off and pushed it off. I'm seeing that my twin just wrote to me, sent me a link to a video. So I was at my friend's, and I got a thorough twin bashing, which I totally get it because I can see what he's seeing. Like he's explaining it to me, and I can see exactly what he's seeing, but I can see like the opposite of it too. It's like seeing the 2 sides. And it's like everything, it's every truth has, but when I was on that tell, the realization that I had was that my twin, because of the way that he was raised, a lot of the things, you know, we're each overcoming our own things, but what I was seeing from my twin is that he doesn't really allow himself to be vulnerable in front of anybody or from anybody. And if you can't be vulnerable, how can you okay, I'm definitely hearing something. I'm sitting here naked. So if you can't be vulnerable in front of somebody, how can you apply yourself into a relationship? How can you allow yourself to trust? How can you allow yourself to be devoted? How can you devote yourself if you can't be vulnerable? Because in order to devote yourself to somebody, you have to be able to be vulnerable. You have to be able to allow yourself, you know, if you're going to be devoted in a relationship, that means that you're going to have to allow yourself to, okay, there's definitely people coming, so I'm going to have to get dressed. So I'm gonna stop this here. I'm gonna turn around to show you really quick. See the water is bubbling, and now I'm putting this